Well, hello, everybody. Welcome back to Cocktails and Rocktails with me, your most notorious groupie, Alice Rouse, author of this little book right here, you guys. Not little and only half the story. 573 pages, double the size of any other groupie book. Double the fun. No, anyway, thank you guys all so much. Oh, these books here, where you can get that, where you can get my merchandise, the cocktail of the day, everything, down in that description. So go down like it's a back lounge of a tour bus in the 80s. It'll be fun. Just don't step on the bunk socks. All right, and thank you as always to everybody who's tuning in, who's really supporting me, the family we are creating here. It's beyond community, you guys. Thank you so much for all the love, all the support, all the amazing stories you're sharing, all the love. You guys really, truly mean the world to me. So thank you so much, you guys. And you guys, I've been telling you I wanted to do this episode for a long time, but I just have not done it yet. So we are going to do a little episode on the different types of backstage passes. And what the codes, different things, what they all mean. Because now when you're at a concert, I bet you already when you're at a concert after watching my channel, you're kind of seeing things differently. Well, now you're going to see things even more differently because of the passes. All right. And today, you guys, I'm finishing up something from our locals, Five Wives. If you guys see these, their vodka anywhere, pick it up. They're Moscow Mules, everything. Really super clean, really crisp, really smooth vodka flavored. These guys make some delicious vodka. And during Pride Month, they make a Five Husbands. And like I said, Google Five Wives and the story behind, because these are actually really five polygamist wives who had a vaudeville show. And so you see the little kitty cats? I don't know if you can see it very well. But the kitty cats on here was their stick. Their advertisement said, "Come see our kitties." And they really pulled out kittens. I don't want to know what happened to those kittens. You never tell with the Mormons. Okay, everybody, grab one of your five wives, kick up your feet. Let's have a little cocktails and rocktails. Cheers, big ears. Oh, I really love Five Wives. Like I said, they use the Krabby's ginger beer. They just have a really amazing, smooth, this is one of my favorite pre-canned Moscow Mules. And I don't do a lot of pre-canned stuff, but this is definitely worth it. Okay, so let's get started. So we're going to kind of start because I'm using a different mix of mine and Marie's, but a lot of them are the same because Marie and I were backstage together at the same shows a lot. And we were together backstage at shows before we became friends. So we knew each other for a few years before we started hanging out. But okay, so we're going to start going through some of these passes, and we're going to start the ones I don't have the ones I don't have are the meet and greet. So like the meet and greet or like the Metallica passes with their fan club passes, those are totally different than what we're seeing here. These are passes like if you're with the band, if you know somebody with the crew. So all these were ones that you get when you're with the band, or that you would win off radio shows. But every single one of these are with the band. So we are going to start with, let me see. Actually, I want to show you this one. So backstage passes, they didn't have categories to start with. They were just normal one-off backstage passes, right? So Iron Maiden World Tour, this is Marie's 1983. So this pass, there was no all access, there was no VIP, there was no after show, there was no meet and greet, there was no laminate. So this was just a pass. Anybody who had this pass could go anywhere you wanted. You could just wander around like in the movie. Oh, my venomous. Hate that movie. But this is what they had back then. So you don't see anything on here that gives it a category, because all the security guards at every gig, the beginning of every show, are given a piece of paper, a Xerox piece of paper, copy with the different passes from the after show, because the different passes tell you when you can and cannot go backstage. So something like, let me see. So this is the Journey after show. So if you're trying to, now this is different. When you are a groupie, it does not matter what your pass says. You can go where the fuck you want, as long as you're with the band. And some of our passes do say after show. And that's simply because that's what was handy. Hey, you got a pass for my friend here? Sure. After show. They'll tell the security guards, just let her through. Let her and her friends through. So for a groupie, these don't matter. But for most people, these will matter. So after show, this is generally with the mean creep. This is the Journey in 1986. This might have been the one where she's talking about where they serenaded her. But anyway, so this is an after show. You cannot go backstage before the meet and creep, basically. Because that's where after shows happen. That's when the meet and creeps generally happen. These days, sometimes they happen before the show, but generally back then, the meet and creeps happened after the show. So that would be this one, after show. Like I said, for groupies, this doesn't matter because we're with the band. We go where we want to. Ha! All right, so that's an after show. And here's another one. This is kind of when they started kind of categorizing passes. So this was an early one. You guys can tell because it's autograph. Turn up the radio. These guys. So this says limited access. This means maybe she can't go back to the dressing rooms like this one for the one of my Rolling Stones passes. This one says back line because the VIP would take me to certain areas, but back line would get me to the dressing room. So I ended up somehow with 2 passes to take for the show. So this gives you limited access. Probably cannot go into catering, probably can't go by the dressing rooms. You can't probably, depending on what the instructions for the night for the security guards are. This really depends right here. But again, for a groupie, this doesn't matter. So limited access, obviously exactly what it means. Limited access. So here's another one. Oh yeah. This is the one Marie and I were backstage because we had several from the Def Leppard Tesla tour right before we went to New York and ditched them. This is it. Or was that one? No, this was Tesla and Ugly Kid Joe. Oh, that's right. That's a whole nother episode. But, so here's an after show one. And okay, so MS. This is somebody's initials. Or MS, Marie. So this could be, so these little codes tell you who gave her the pass. Sometimes there's numbers. Let me see something. Oh, so like right here, 13. So number 13, it was Mick. It was actually before I met Mick. So this was actually Charlie's brother-in-law that gave me this and introduced me to Mick. We all know that story. It's for members only. So if you see the episode, keep in the shirt, you want to watch it, become a member. It's all about Mick. So that's where I originally got it, was Shep, who is Charlie Watch's brother, and somehow they called him the King of England because somehow if like everybody from the royal family died, he might be king. So yeah, these are a psychoanalyst. Okay, and a lot of times they'll have the date on them. So no rain today because this was an outdoor show. But yeah, so this pass was, I remember this pass. We were all there. Oh, I remember this one too. I have the same one. Oh my God. This is another one, after show only. Now this was definitely not after show because the drummer, Stone Temple Pilots, immediately fell in love with Marie. She and I both have this one because we attended this concert together. So this one says after show, we were with Stone Temple Pilots. And yeah, but definitely wasn't after show. We were hanging out wherever we wanted. Wow, here's another pretty early one. Admit one after show, Motley Crue, Theater of Pain. This is a pretty old one. This is 85, 86. So this is about when I met Nikki. This was probably right, oh yeah. Yes, it was. But definitely was sitting on the side of the stage. Definitely got to go where I wanted. So that's totally different. Okay, so let's go. Oh, here's a different one. Now, this one is Billy Squire's support. This is one of Marie's, 84, because she was a couple years older than me. So started hanging out a few years before I did. Before I even moved to Salt Lake City. So 1984, support act. So support means opening act. So a lot of times the opening act will have their own backstage passes. And that's who you know who's with who. And it's not just for the security guards, it's also for the rock stars and roadie. Because you can look at this pass. SLC, obviously, this is for Salt Lake City, so you could not use it in Denver. You'd have to have a different pass for Denver. Unlike these have the date on them, but when you walk in with Mick Jagger, nobody's giving you shit, right? So this is for the opening act. Meanwhile, the opening act's in the dressing room. Counting their roll on the show when the drummer says, "How long, y'all?" It's a whole George Clinton P-Funk song. But so anyway, so when you see that support act, that means they're with the opening band. And nothing wrong with that. There's a lot of killer opening bands. Okay, so let's go through more. Marie! This is Marie's. This is not mine. I'm just going to sneak it up. Doo-doo. Doo-doo. You're reading that, right? Marie, when the fuck did you go to Billy Ray Cyrus? 93? Well, we were hanging out. Did we go together? No, I would have remembered going to Billy Ray Cyrus. How the fuck did she end up at Billy Ray Cyrus? So, Eastman, this is the code of who gave her this pass, who she's with. You know, because what if you're with the drummer? What if the drummer has a new girlfriend or the tour manager's girlfriend is back there? That's how you know who's who. So when you see like this, the P on this autograph one. So the P would be the initial of somebody she's with. And everybody on the tour will know who that is. I don't. I have to hide this Billy Ray Cyrus. She went to Billy Ray Cyrus. Why the fuck? Like, that pass burned my fingers and shit. Okay. So, here's one. So this one, and you can see all the cool autographs she got on it. Now, Marie and I, we were both kind of weird. We didn't like sticking our passes on. We don't need to go around with them on our leg or, we had enough passes throughout the years. She and I stuck them in our purses, and when we'd go backstage, we'd pull them out, flip them up, go back. Because we don't need to advertise it. The people who you see advertising it at the show, walking around the crowd, it's because they paid for it these days. It's part of the VIP package. Anybody can pay to get backstage. Not very many people can go hang with the band, so. Yeah, I said it. So this is a guest pass. Now, this is the next step up from after show. So guest pass, you pretty much can go mostly where you want, depending on the time of the day, because some bands like Metallica, they don't allow people to go walking backstage all the time while they are playing. There's certain rules and regulations, but it's almost all access, and when the groupie has the guest pass on, we can go wherever the fuck we want. Depending on it, sometimes if there's wives out on the road, you're not allowed to go near those dressing rooms. That was mostly Tawny Katan and Dave What's-His-Butt. They were both egotistical assholes. They were. Tawny was beautiful and she pretended to be really awesome, but she was a spoiled little fucking cunt. She was. So the guest pass, that's one step up. Then you really know that these people are with the band. Okay? So they know somebody on the tour or the band, that they're probably better friends, that they're probably really good. Oh, here's another one, support act, guest. So this was at Damn Yankees and Jackal. So she was hanging out with someone in Jackal, just like I was, because I have this pass. Some of these are Marie's, some of these are mine. That's an old one. So, yeah, this is, again, support act. She's hanging out with the support act. She's a good friend. They want her around. You better treat her with respect. So when security guards see, like, after show only... But if the rockers want to hang out with you, they'll put these little things. VIP. again, codes. She's a very important person. She's really cool. She's hanging with the band. Marie and I were both hanging with these guys at the same time. This is before we were hanging out all the time. We already knew each other, but we saw each other again backstage here because you guys know I hung out with Ice-T. I already had an episode about it, the Corvair. So yeah, these can be doctored at any time by the band, and a lot of them will be, as you can see. This was not Marie doctoring it because it says after show only, but he changed this to VIP, as you should. Now here's another VIP from Guns N' Roses. This is mine. This is when I was with Axe. And yeah, this is VIP laminate. You know, if you're wearing a laminate, these are not the bought ones that you get for the meet and creep these days, the VIP package. This is not one of those. So this is actually, I was with the band. There's the person who I actually took it from him because his girlfriend didn't show up, and Axel was like, no, I want her to have that. So a roadie had to hand over his, he got stood up, so he had to hand over his. So, okay. So then we're going to move on to this one. The very first ever live internet stream. This was Brian Setzer and Tony Bennett were playing together when he had a swing band. Natalie Cole, The Who, Kiss, when they had just put on their first makeup, and then all the original members, not that broke down wannabe band that Gene and Paul made. Two guys pretending to be Ace and what's his name? Peter Chris. So now this says production. So this is actually, and you'll see a lot of groupies that have production or local crew. That kind of falls along with this, which I do have a couple local crews. Oh, there's another one of these. So, but if it says production, local crew, it means you have access to go wherever the fuck you want. It means you are working with the band. You are definitely with the band. No one's going to stop you from going anywhere. So production, heck yeah. And I wasn't working for the band. But like I said, groupies get all kinds of different passes, whatever's handy right then and there in someone's pocket, or the production manager comes out and gives you. Because there's only so many passes in a day that can be given away. So this one, I could go wherever I wanted. I went to every part of the MGM Grand property where the different concerts were going. I went and saw the concerts. I was backstage. I was mingling. I was going into catering. I could do whatever I wanted. Production. So this is mainly for the people who are working with the band or the local crews. You'll see the local crew ones. Just like that's kind of where this one, the back line, you see how it says working? Can you see that? There we go. So this is, I needed this so I could walk around without Mick and go wherever I wanted. So, again, working in production. These are one step down from being the rock stars. These are just as important. What the roadies have, what the local roadies will have, and they need access to everything. So these, the production, the working, they're one step up from the guest. So now we're going to get into VIP. These are just one step below the production. This means, you know, I'm with the band. I've got the laminate. I can go wherever I want. I told you guys about Mind Bomb. These guys were awesome out of Chicago. So these were our passes to Mind Bomb. And a lot of times some of the passes will have this plain white spot down here that the band will fill in with the date, the code, whether you're VIP, whether you're local crew, whether you're all access, whether you're after show, whether you're just guest, you know. So sometimes passes will have that, but VIP, all access, we know what these are. These are bitches. I am certainly with the band, so fuck you and the horse you rode in on too. So there you go. There's a few more. Let's see. Another one, all access. What's this one? What the fuck, Marie? Why was she in live? Like that lead singer cries after he gets his dick sucked. What the fuck is she doing? Billy Ray, I'm going to have a talk with Marie. No. So there you guys go. There's some of your passes. So let me kind of do it in order. So let's go. So really old passes didn't have, you know, because once they gave these passes out, they're like, oh, People were just kind of doing whatever they wanted, wandering all over the place. You can't be wandering, especially backstage. You can't just be wandering all willy-nilly all over the place because there's actually work going on. There's production happening. So that's kind of what they started. Then your next step up is after show. So they didn't want everybody coming backstage at the same time and crowding up the backstage area. So they made after show passes. Then you have guest. Then you have VIPs. The VIP crowd. Then you have the production crowd. And then you have the band, the all access ones, and the band and the VIPs. So there you guys go. I told you I was going to do this for a while now. So finally got a bunch of my passes out and a bunch of Marie's passes and kind of showed you all the different ones. So like I said, there's a lot of VIPs, there's laminates. Now the laminates are the top of the line. If you have the laminate that you did not buy as part of your Visa VIP package, you are fucking golden. You certainly know that band. All right. So there you guys go. There's a little look and more into the world. Now when you're at a concert and you see people's passes, you're going to know what they mean. And you're going to think, psh, please, you bought that. Or, ooh, how does she know the band? So there you guys go. Sorry, you guys. My voice is really, I'm losing my voice because the changing of the seasons, my allergies, just driving me crazy. So sorry about my voice. And then not permanently, just, sometimes we get a little hay fever and this is what happens. So there you guys go. There's a little look into the backstage pass world. And once upon a time, all the passes were made by a company named Otto. Yeah. So all these little stupid things that groupies know about the actual production of rock and roll. So hope you enjoyed it. Hope you will look around the next concert you go to and see who is who and who they're hanging out with and maybe just bragging. Paying to brag, really. So, all right, you guys. Thank you to everybody who made it to the end of the episode with me. You guys fucking rock as always. Just really, truly means the whole world that you guys stick around through the whole episode. So, and if you're a lurker, if you are just haunting my channel, that's cool. I love you guys too. You're having fun with me. The more the merrier. I love it. But you know what? Become a part of the family. Go down. Hit the share, hit the subscribe, become a member, and hit my bells. And we'll see you next time on Cocktails and Rocktails. Cheers, big ears.